Hi everyone, it's Pastor Michael here. Just wanting to give you an update on how I'm tracking, some of the challenges I'm facing, and what I am doing about them. And so it's been about 8 weeks since I've come out of hospital, where I spent 14 days in an induced coma and 72 days all up due to COVID-19. Physically, I have lingering nerve damage and muscle weakness in my left leg. I need either a pair of crutches or a four-wheel frame to be able to walk. If I have an extended appointment, then I would use a wheelchair since I can't walk or stand for very long. I have a blood clot on my left calf, which is closely being monitored. I also have alopecia, which is an immune disorder that causes hair loss. Now, my wife tells me though that I've had hair loss even before I had alopecia. Now, her jokes can be quite brutal, and that's probably because they're true. Anyway, I have regular rehabilitation appointments to help heal my nerve damage and muscle weakness. I normally have 4 sessions of physiotherapy during the week and fortnightly appointments with my GP. Then I've got several specialist appointments with the infectious diseases doctor, with the kidney doctor, with the blood doctor, with the pain doctor, the rehab doctor. The week can get really busy, but there's little wins every day. There's things I can do now that I can't do before, like lifting my left knee. I can walk a little faster and a little longer as well. Emotionally and mentally, I feel okay, although I do remember the time when my wife told me about what happened to her mom. She visited me in hospital, my wife did, and I asked her how her mom was going, and she said to me, well, let me pray first. And I'm wondering, what's going on? So she prayed, and afterwards she told me that her mom felt unwell, was hospitalized, was diagnosed with COVID-19 and died 6 days later. At first, I thought my wife was joking, but that was such an inappropriate joke. And then it dawned on me that she was telling the truth. So that was very hard to hear. A mixture of emotions just suddenly flooded my heart and my mind. I felt sadness, I felt grief, I felt guilt, I felt blame. I thought to myself, it's probably my fault because I brought COVID-19 into the household. But you know what my wife said to me? She said to me, Michael, these things happen and it's no one's fault. My wife is very gracious and generous, and if you don't know it yet, she is the best of wives and the best of women. When she left me that day, I was, what she told me was still playing in my mind. For the next couple of days, it was, I was thinking about what she said. It grieves me that I couldn't be with my family when we've lost a loved one. When I came home from hospital, a number of people visited me and checked up on me and just asked how I was going physically, and I told them I was okay. They also asked me how I was going mentally and emotionally. So I told them I felt okay. However, they suggested that I see a psychologist. I didn't really think of seeing a psychologist. I never thought about it but these people who visited me were wise people, so I thought, okay, I'll book some appointments. As the days went by, though, I noticed that there are times when I would just suddenly, burst into tears because of what happened. Um, there'll be days when I just want to be alone. I just want to be by myself. There'll be days that I'm so frustrated because it takes me a long time to get to the loo, especially in the middle of the night. I wake up, get up, go to the loo, and by the time I get back, I'm wide awake, and I can't go back to sleep anymore. Sometimes I get frustrated when the doorbell rings, and by the time I get to the door, the person who rang the bell has left already. And there will be times when I get so frustrated because my recovery is taking such a long time. These events convinced me that I needed to see a professional to help process what I've been through. I remember an illustration that Pastor Ken used as part of the Growing to Maturity course about the boy who had a splinter in his foot. And if I recall correctly, the story goes something like this. So this boy was walking along the boardwalk and accidentally caught a splinter in the sole of his foot, and he was in pain, but did not really have his foot looked at. So what he did was he walked using the side of his foot, and for a while he was okay, until someone or something touches the pain point of his foot, and then he would lash out in pain, and as a consequence he would cause pain in others. Well, I don't want to be that person. Sometimes we have there's a stigma on mental health. We don't want our mental well-being or emotional well-being being looked at. Sometimes we think that people who see shrinks are weak, or sometimes we think that people with mental illness are weak. But I don't want to be that person, and I don't think that. I don't want to be the person with unresolved pain. I don't want to be the person with buttons where when it gets pressed I lash out. I know I have those buttons, and I'm thinking, do I have any buttons that I don't know about that when pressed will cause me to lash out? I do know what I want to be. I want to be God's presence in every place. I want to be that person who would lead other people to be God's presence in every place. And so I sought professional help, and I'm seeing a psychologist now. And so my treatment is really multifaceted. I have the Australian health system who help look after my physical well-being. I have the Jesus who looks after my spiritual and overall well-being. I have friends who look after my mental, emotional and practical needs, and I have a psychologist who's helping me deal with the trauma and the grief. And so let me encourage you, if you are struggling with fear and anxiety, or if you are struggling with worries and the fear of uncertainty, if you have any unresolved grief or trauma, I have 3 suggestions for you. Firstly, come to Jesus. He promises that if you come to Him, He will carry your burdens with you and give you rest. Secondly, talk to a friend, a loved one. a family member, to your life group, and these people will want the best for you. And it's always a relief to be able to share your problems with someone. And thirdly, um, if need be, seek professional help. Speak to a counselor or a psychologist. They are experts in helping people process grief and trauma. So those three things: come to Jesus, talk to a friend, seek professional help. Now I'm doing these things and it's helping me, and I hope they will help you as well. God bless.